Hey, hello everyone. How are you today? Welcome to our presentation. We're just going to jump right in. I know there's some people that watch this recording later. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Katie. I'm one of the dietitians. I hope you can hear me. If you can't, let me know before I continue. Amanda is usually my co-host, but she's not here today, so I'm riding solo. So we wanted to put together this presentation because, many of us are on either a weight loss journey, health journey, lifestyle change, and it can be very overwhelming. And it may not be the first time, it may not be the second time, it may not be the third time that we're starting this. And there's a lot of common mistakes that people make. I don't like to call them mistakes, but it really is like you make sometimes it's harder than it needs to be. So we wanted to put together a list of, common mistakes that people make when trying to lose weight or make a lifestyle change. And we kind of phrase it as a do's and don'ts. So these are our top do's and don'ts for healthy habits and definitely our top tips for our most successful patients here at the WTC clinic. So, our first, don't that we are going to go over today is don't focus on restriction, right? When we're told that we can't have something, we want it 10 times more, right? I need to cut out carbs. I need to stop eating after 8 o'clock. I need to watch less television. I drink too much soda. I need to completely cut it out. I need to eat less fast food. Yes, those things are probably all true, but when we come at it from a, restrictive mindset or taking away something, a subtraction mindset, we feel like something is being taken away from us. So I always encourage, our goals that we set, during our sessions to be more so focused on addition. Um, because many of our patients, believe it or not, who eat the least are sometimes the ones who struggle the most with weight because we could be overfed but undernourished, right? So we want to focus on the quality of our food and focusing on adding in not only just food, but healthy habits into our day and into our life, and especially healthy foods that give us energy, satisfaction, and convenience. So some examples are increasing. You're always going to hear me say, I want you to increase the amount of vegetables on your plate and subsequently in your kitchen, first and foremost. If we're not buying them from the store, they're not making it into our kitchen and therefore they're not making it into our home. Increasing your daily protein. We're going to talk a little bit more about macros later in the presentation, but add protein to all of your meals. Unless you have kidney issues, we'll talk separately, but otherwise, really, protein is very key. Increase your activity. Walking, um, obviously is a great one. Exercising is in all caps there. Reading, brain teasers, knitting, playing guitar, meditating, stretching. All these things are things you can add to your day. Increasing your water intake, of course. Everyone always says, how much water should I drink, Katie? Technically half your body weight in fluid ounces, but you need to start where you are. It's very hot this summer here in New York. We're in a heat wave. So increase your water intake definitely from baseline. And increasing the time you spend, planning meals and grocery shopping. That 5-10 minutes to make a list prior to the store makes all the difference during the week when we're scrambling for, what to eat for dinner. So addition mindset. And these are just some examples of healthy boosters that you can kind of keep in mind as a way to make your day a little bit healthier. So sprinkle some chia seeds, hemp seeds, or flaxseed onto your oatmeal. Those add fiber, add protein, omega-3s, great for your heart, great for helping you feel more full. Add an avocado to your burger or sandwich. About a quarter to a half an avocado would be good if you're trying to lose weight. Avocados can actually help insulin resistance and they add a lot of fiber and healthy fat to our diet. Drink one more cup of water, for every cup of soda or a cup of coffee. We dehydrate with soda, coffee, and tea. So let's hydrate ourselves. So that's a great way to add water. For every cup of coffee I drink, I'm going to drink a cup of water. Replace just one serving of red meat a week with a plant-based protein like beans or some fish. I did a thesis in my master's program, and it found that 1 ounce replacement of beans during the week actually reduced people's LDL cholesterol significantly. So a little bit does go a long way. Increase the amount of vegetables by just 1 cup. Add in 30 minutes a week of stretching, walking, or meditating. That half an hour of an extra show after dinner, go for a walk with the dog or with your grandkids or with your wife or your partner or by yourself. Um, and try and start your bedtime, wind down about 15 minutes earlier. Add that time, to get yourself into that ready mode. I call it the Zen Den in my house. We turn all the lights down, no bright lights, no caffeine, no blue lights. Really makes a big difference in our sleep quality. So of course you're going to hear this. Don't aim for perfection, right? Perfect is the enemy of progress. It's the enemy of good. Strict dieting that focus on removing foods like we just talked about is usually does not last, and no one wants to feel like they're being forced to stop doing things they enjoy. So people think that they need to have a bunch of discipline and willpower to lose weight, but you really just need to have a willingness to plan ahead, establish a routine. Your calorie range is much more important than your exact calorie target. And we do recommend more of an 80-20 mindset. You're going to hear us say that a lot. So starting the diet, this is kind of that vicious cycle that I've talked about. We get that short-term weight loss, but we do start to feel deprived. We start being bad, on vacation, or we break a rule on the weekend. We have French fries, and then all of a sudden it turns into heroes. And then all of a sudden we gain the weight again, and we're dissatisfied with ourselves. And we blame ourselves, but really don't blame yourself, blame the diet, and try and break the cycle, right? Insanity, the definition is doing something again and again and expecting different results. So we want to try to change this. So instead, do aim for consistency. So our brains are wired towards reward. So if you want to start developing healthier habits, an effective approach is something called healthy concessions. So if you tell yourself you cannot have certain things, of course you're going to start to crave them more. So instead, maybe try telling yourself if you're if this works for your motivation style, tell yourself you can have anything you want, but only if it's paired with or coupled with something that's going to benefit you, right? So you can still have that glass of wine or two at dinner, but maybe make sure the dinner is loaded with lean protein and lots of vegetables. Or you can watch that episode, mine's Housewives of your favorite show, but only if you've gone for that evening walk. It is kind of that reward mentality, but you're making yourself do something good for yourself while also giving yourself that happiness that we get from our guilty pleasures. And always try and see the big picture of every day as opposed to the singularity of one meal or snack, right? It didn't take us one meal or one, splurge to gain weight. It's not going to do the same to lose the weight. It's about progress over time. So, a good tip is if you're going to splurge tonight, let me make sure that I'm definitely going to like have a great day of eating to kind of offset that. And I love the quote, it's not the ketchup, it's the fries. So people say, oh, well, I can't have salad dressing because it's bad for me. It negates all the benefits. Have the salad dressing. Eventually, you might start to dabble in other ones, but the ranch dressing isn't going to be the killer. It's not about the topping. It's about the main dish. So think about the big picture, not so nitty gritty. Think about your week, not about that one specific day. Um, and this is an example of what consistency looks like. So I have a lot of patients struggling to lose weight, and you might be fighting your weekend get weight gain all week if you binge or you do overeat or drink over the weekend. So stay on track by maybe having small little mindful indulgences or honoring your those cravings throughout the week. Instead of having that what we call an effort mindset where we completely below the bank in terms of calories. You can see this person was really low calorie, really low calorie. Their maintenance would be 2,000. So to lose the weight, they would need to be eating less than this on an average. And they did low, 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 low. And then the weekend, it was crazy 3,000 calories. And all of a sudden, your weekly average is 2,000, but you deprived yourself Monday through Friday, went crazy Saturday, Sunday. So then when you weigh yourself Monday, you don't see any results. However, if you kind of give yourself a little bit of an extra leeway of calories, like 17-ish hundred, 1,600 one day, a little bit lower, then the weekends aren't so crazy because we had that burger on Tuesday or we had that piece of pizza on Thursday instead of completely going crazy. So just definitely some food for thought. And also, it is a good idea to have some form of plan for what you're going to do if you've overeaten or you have, maybe binged or something like that. So try not to punish yourself. Don't undereat severely if you had a weekend where you really, really went crazy. If you're not hungry, don't force feed it. But sometimes I'll have patients that don't eat for, the whole day just to kind of wipe out what they did the day before. Try not to do that. It messes up with your metabolism. So you can see this week somebody did 3,500 and then went low, low, and then binged again, low, low, binged again, and their average ended up being around 2,300 calories. So don't be this person. Instead, if you do have a, binge, try and, maybe bump up your calories a little more, but it will make your average still less than, let's say maintenance is 2,000. So to lose weight, we need to eat under that. You're still going to be able to get back to where you need to be. So remember, if you're never more than one meal away from being back on track. And I also tell people, if you notice that you're constantly going off track, take a look at your diet and your daily calories. Is it realistic for you? Are you miserable every day and craving a cheat day? That ain't the diet for you. We need to figure out what's going on there. And the best diet is the one that you can follow for life. To get off that hamster wheel, get off that diet cycle. So I like to throw in my favorite I can eat that products and foods, because a lot of my patients are like, "What? I can have rice cakes?" Yes. You can even have rice cakes that have caramel on them. It's okay. You don't have to have dark chocolate if you like milk chocolate. Have milk chocolate. I love the Ghirardelli squares that are portion controlled, because we could have one or two instead of having to, cut the bar in half. And I think that that's a lot easier to stay consistent. I've been loving the Quaker Oats lower sugar variety packets, because they are still single digits in sugar, versus the regular packets do have a lot of sugar and not a lot of fiber. So keep an eye out for those. I love the Blue Diamond seasoned 100-calorie almond packs. My favorite is either the wasabi or the salt and vinegar, but they make a cocoa dusted one that's delicious. These are great. So you don't have to eat unsalted plain nuts in order to be healthy. You can have some flavor. Potatoes are fine. You can have potatoes, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes. You have to watch the portion. And yeah, if they are deep fried from McDonald's, we're, talking something different. But potatoes provide a lot of satiety. And I find that potatoes help curve off that after dinner craving for carbs and sugar. So, a little sweet potato, about the quarter of your plate, about a fist size, computer mouse size, is amazing. Throw a little grass-fed butter on that. You've got yourself a balanced, carb side. Egg yolks are fine. You can have the egg yolk. It's not going to kill you. Back in the day, we thought that cholesterol was raised by your dietary cholesterol. That is not true. It's actually carbs, like simple carbs and fried foods. So have the egg yolk of the hard-boiled egg or the scrambled egg. It'll help you feel more full. It has choline, leucine, vitamin D. It's fine. Same thing with canned beans. They're great. They're nutritious. I opt for low sodium and I rinse them, but they're fine, and aim for BPA-free cans if you can. Um, I love string cheese. I think it's great because it's portioned. I always tell people, if you know me, I say cheese is a garnish. It's not a food group. So cheese is never going to be the star of the plate, but a string cheese with a side of crackers or an apple or something like that is a perfectly balanced snack. And string cheeses usually have anywhere from 6 to 7 grams of protein, which is great. I love the pop chips because they have a lot more servings that you can have for the same amount of calories. PB2 is a great way to add peanut butter flavoring to a shake or yogurt or oatmeal with all the extra calories, considering that 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is around 190, whereas 2 tablespoons of PB2 is only about 45. So sometimes the PB2 does the trick, but other times you can have the peanut butter. We do recommend natural peanut butter over the ones that have hydrogenated oils in them. But in our brand recommendations list, you'll see the ones that we recommend. I've been loving Teddy's because it's not $8,000 for a jar of peanut butter. Trader Joe's is good too. My next tip is don't have a herd mentality or expect quick results. So if you just want to be told what to do, you're going to struggle for the rest of your life with fitness. You have to be willing to learn. You need to be willing to think for yourself and build autonomy with your fitness and your health so you don't struggle again. If you're just saying, oh, just tell me what to eat, I don't know you. I don't know what you like. I don't know what goes on at home. I can only give you the tools that you can then take and see what works for yourself. And always focus on what works for you, your lifestyle, your family, and what's going on. So, a couple of quotes that verbatim have come from many of my patients are, my neighbor did keto. He lost a ton of weight. Should I do keto? Probably not. It's very restrictive and it's very hard to maintain long term. Modified versions, sure, we can talk about it, but it's not the end all be all. All of my friends are doing intermittent fasting. Should I do intermittent fasting? Well, do you like to eat breakfast? Do you have a problem with eating late at night? Are you a shift worker where you work crazy shifts? We need to know more about your lifestyle. But in general, we do recommend some form of fasting, whether it's 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, all the way up to that true fast, which is 16 hours. But it just depends on the person. So it can be effective, but everyone's window is going to be different. Um, Someone told me to drink apple cider vinegar to lose weight. Yeah, no, there's no studies to support this. If anything, it's just going to make you feel sick and not have a good appetite. um, I always warn people if you're going to do this, try and do it diluted with water to not ruin your teeth enamel and your esophagus, especially if you have GERD or Barrett's esophagus. And it is best to have it right before you eat to get some digestive benefits with the acid in the stomach, but there's really no support for weight loss there. It's all anecdotal. Sweet potatoes are better for me than regular potatoes. Not true. They're different. One has vitamin A, one has more potassium. They're both fine. They're both nutritious, as we just said. And then I can't eat bananas because they have too much sugar. Um, Yes, bananas do have sugar. They have carbohydrates. They don't have as much fiber as some other fruits. However, the obesity, epidemic in our country, it ain't the bananas, right? It's the other foods that we eat. If you need to eat a banana every day and you like it and that's your source of potassium, amazing. We'll work it into your meal plan. Um, Bananas are not the reason that we're all gaining weight. It's all the other things that we have in our diet or excess amounts of something. Um, like I said, do focus on big picture, what works for you. Be the lion, don't be the sheep. If your goal is weight loss, you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. Whether you have 5, 10, 25, or even 50 pounds to lose, I always recommend assume it's going to take at least a full year to get results. This way, you'll stay focused on what you can control instead of worrying about what's, outside of your control. Buying a meal plan from someone, we do meal plans in our clinic. I think they're helpful to get a sense of what that calorie range looks like, but it might save you time right now, but in the long run, it's not a long-term solution. You have to find what works for you and be able to swap and mix and match and figure out what your calorie maintenance looks like or calorie deficit looks like. And if you want to lose weight and keep it off, you need to spend time learning how to plan meals in a way that fits your lifestyle. So, also knowing that's, stress, sleep, genetics, hormone all play a role in our ability to lose weight. Many of my patients struggle with insulin resistance where they can't lose a single pound, even though they're doing everything right. That's when medication, starts to play a role or looking at sleep or hormones, testosterone levels, things like that. Um, Exercising is a huge key. You got to have at least 2 strength training days a day or a day, a week if possible. And we do recommend zone 2 cardio where you're getting your heart rate up slightly. You can breathe in and out through your nose, but you're not panting. Um, we need to look at your calorie needs and your macronutrient distribution. Everyone's different. Fat, carbs, protein. Um, but we can also help you determine a calorie range that's good for you. Meal timing, we already talked about. And if you have diabetes, we may need to talk about your meal timing as well. And self care is also a vital, vital, vital part to a healthy and happy life. I think the most understated nutrition tip for weight loss is getting control of anxiety, depression, and boredom because many of us eat for those 3 reasons. So getting our head right is going to help our physical body as well. And obviously work with a health professional like a mental health therapist if you are struggling and we can help you find one through the program. So this is a new one, but definitely important. There's the big, topic of don't eat carbs. Carbs are bad. But honestly, I say don't focus on carbs and just focus on your calories. Calorie intake is the main driver of weight loss, regardless of carb intake. Most people that lose weight on keto, it's because you cut calories from your diet, not necessarily the carbs. If you like eating in a low carb way and puts you in a deficit, you're going to see progress. Sure, if you can maintain that, awesome. But if you're waiting for the next time you can have a bagel or pizza or pasta, it might not last long term. So we want to make sure that it's not unenjoyable or unrealistic for you and how to stay consistent and focus on being in a slight calorie deficit and filling up on filling foods. So things like foods with fiber are going to be fruit, veggies, oatmeal, potatoes with skin, chia seed, flaxseed, hemp seed, avocado, those good healthy boosters, and protein. I would actually focus more on your protein and then build your fat and your carbs around that than just the carbs alone. So chicken, eggs, fish, pork, legumes, nuts, whole grains. That is the goal. In general, you want at least a gram per kilogram body weight. So if you weigh, let's say you weigh about 250 pounds, that makes your body weight around 113 uh, kilograms. You got to be eating at least that per day. Unless you have kidney issues, we can talk about that. Otherwise, I would say go for your kilogram body weight. You just take your body weight divided by 2.2. That's how many grams to eat per day minimum. This is an example of how calories in, calories out is kind of a facade because this protein cookie, it's 400 calories, it's 66 grams of carbs, which is crazy. 24 grams of sugar, yes, it's good. It has 10 grams of fiber, but it only has 16 grams of protein. Versus, believe it or not, a Chobani with fruit on the bottom, a Bud Light, and 100 grams of a Blue Diamond almond pack is the same. And I feel like we get a lot more satisfaction from this than just one of these. I would not feel full. So you are smart, use your knowledge and your label reading skills. We have videos on this as well to make your food decisions. Figure out what your healthy food staples are and eat what you like. So don't let your pursuit of a quote unquote healthy diet blind you from everything else that there is in the world. Like we can have a diet that allows us to have everything we like, and your relationship with food and your dedication to your goals will help you achieve that long-term success. So don't make the mistake of just seeing gluten-free, keto, high protein. Look at the actual facts and use your knowledge. There's also this app called Fujicate that a lot of my patients enjoy. You can scan the barcode and it'll tell you a little bit more about that product if you're still struggling with, understanding the label. Don't prioritize cardio. That's a big mistake. I know our patients have a lot of mobility limitations, but you will get the most fat loss bang for your buck by strength training. It helps build muscle. The more muscle you have, the easier it will be to lose fat and reach your fitness goals. So, work with a trainer, talk to your doctor, see what you need to do, but it doesn't mean you have to be doing CrossFit in the gym. It could be resistance bands, it could be yoga, it could be Pilates, it could be TRX, it could be body weight, it could be getting in a pool and just wading in the pool and treading water because that's resistance. Something to get that bone health and that muscle mass up is going to be a major key. And then lastly, these are just some other tips and tricks from your dietitians, myself and Amanda, that we find our most successful patients to follow. So our most successful patients can definitely recall what they eat in a day. They're very aware of everything that's being put into their body. They track their progress, and that's just not numbers on a scale. It's all of these non-scale victories here mentioned. So breathing easier, rings fitting better, being able to fit into an airplane seat or a ride at Universal Studios, less knee pain, back pain, walking up the steps, eating more, better quality foods with their family, sleeping more soundly, getting less heartburn, their gun belt fitting better, their blood work improvement, obviously, more endurance at the gym, or finding you're not as sore the next day after your workout, being able to walk a mile a little bit faster than you could a couple months ago, less brain fog, irritability, or mood changes. I find that to be a huge one with our patients that have blood sugar instability, daily energy, and just enjoying how you eat. So keep cognizant of your progress. They exercise routinely. They talk about their relationship with food. I can't help you unless I know what's going on internally in your minds when you're trying to make food decisions. So I'm here to talk about it. My Amanda is here. These videos are here for you. We have a plethora of information online as well. You should share your goals with family and friends so that they are more supportive. I have a lot of patients whose family shows love through food, my family included, and it's very tough sometimes. So if they know you're on a weight loss journey, or you're trying to get healthier, maybe, we can change the way we show love, and make some banana nut muffins from home instead of, going to Dortoni's and picking up some cake. um, our patients should attend their appointments, especially when you're struggling. Again, talking about it is very important. And use us. Amanda and I both have master's degrees. We're dietitians. I work here full time. I'm here to help you and only you. So utilize us as resources. Call us, send us an email. We're here. And then, of course, always celebrate those small wins. Um, so that is our presentation for today. Thank you to everyone who attended live. I don't know if you're able to unmute, but does anyone have any questions or comments? You can always email me privately. And this recording is going to be available online in a few days, and the PowerPoint as well is available if you would like it for your notes. So unless anyone has any questions, we will wrap this meeting up today. I hope everyone stays cool out there, drink plenty of water, and our next webinar is September 6th at 2 o'clock, which is going over overcoming your weight loss barriers and your healthy struggles. So kind of more in depth on the don'ts and ways to navigate like social pressures or work schedules, things like that. So we will see you then. Have a great day.